Hi, welcome. We're going to do an appetizer here that I serve for probably every major holiday that we have because my family absolutely loves it. It's stuffed mushrooms and I enjoy them so much, and it's an easy thing to make because you can make it ahead, and then when you're maybe a half hour before your guests arrive, you can just pop them in and warm them up, and they are delicious. Now these I make with sausage. So I'm going to put a little bit of sausage in a pan, but before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. Simply because I'm going to, maybe 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put onions in there. Now I have chopped these onions because I do them all ahead, so I don't have to go back and do them every time I need them. And I'm going to put about 1/2 cup of onions in here. And we're going to saute those first, just like that. Just on a medium-high heat. Nothing important, nothing spectacular, just getting them just so you have the rawness gone. And as soon as that is done, then what we're going to do is add the sausage. Now the sausage that I'm using is Jimmy Dean's, and it's just their regular sausage. While that's doing what it needs to do, I'm going to work with the mushrooms. Now, these mushrooms, as you hopefully know or will know after this, you do not wash them. You don't ever put your mushrooms in water. Just wipe them off. We're gonna pull the stem out. We're not throwing that stem away. Whoops, I wanna cut these first. It's easier to cut it when they're on there. There, let me cut these. I'm going to cut the woody end off of it because we're going to chop these up. We're going to use them in our mix that's going to stuff these. Now the grandchildren, they haven't developed a taste for this yet, but I'm telling you, my sons, my daughter-in-law, my other son's significant other, they love them. So, well, I have to take that back. Sandy, the significant other, she's not a fan of mushrooms. So I have to be totally honest and disclosure here, but we have other things that she can enjoy. But the rest of us love them. So just going to wipe them off, get them all nice and clean, cut the woody end. Look at that one. Ah, little twins there, Siamese, they grew together. I hear my onions sizzling, so I want to give them a little bit of a stir. And I've got here, because I know you guys like measurements, this is 24 ounces of mushrooms. I always like to do new and different things for the holidays for appetizers because my family is very traditional. It's like, don't mess around with the main course, you know, don't mess around with that one. But the side dishes I can always play with. So I'm going to be posting some side dishes here that, oh my gosh, so excellent. One of them is a, what is it? It's a cauliflower casserole with a Brussels sprout, with a broccoli sauce over it. Oh my word. It was absolutely fantastic. So, we're gonna get those stems cut and removed. And what we're gonna do with these little ends is we're going to chop them up, and they're going to go into the mix here. That'll be part of the stuffing. So it's mushroom stuffed with mushrooms. Wow, it didn't want to come out at all. All right, our onions are nice and tender, nice and fragrant. We're now going to add the sausage, and I'm adding about 8 ounces of the Jimmy Dean regular sausage. It just has such a nice flavor to it. And we're going to just cook this down. What I'm doing is I'm incorporating the onions into that sausage. And this is just like on a medium heat. Now, as the sausage and the onions are working together, we're going to start working with these stems here. And I want to get them chopped up very nice and small. I haven't got any seasonings in there yet, but we will. Take a look at our sausage. It's coming along very nice. I'm going to throw in all of those stems that we have chopped up. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't know how much, probably a half a teaspoon of salt and probably a quarter teaspoon of pepper. Now what's going to happen here is that these mushrooms will start to extrude some of their own juices, which is good. But I want to help flavor this along, and I'm going to flavor it with some wine. I'm using a Chardonnay. I'm using a barefoot Chardonnay. You put very little in, so, you know, maybe, I don't know, I should measure it for you. I never measure, but let me do that so you can have a little better feel. Yeah, I would put in a fourth of a teaspoon of a Chardonnay. I'm using a barefoot, which is, yeah, I thought I grabbed the wrong bottle, which is really a nice little Chardonnay. We'll let all of those flavors develop, and then we'll go ahead and we will stuff the mushrooms. And then you'll see how easy this little appetizer is. I love appetizers, I really do. But I really appreciate the amount of work and effort that goes into those appetizers. So many times they're just so intricate and so beautiful, and I know how much time they take to do. So we'll let these cook down, and then we will return. Alrighty, what we are doing now is I'm going to remove the filling from the pan because I want those drippings and I want all that seasoning in that pan. And we're going to put our mushrooms back in this pan after we have stuffed them. All right, now ever so simply, we're just going to fill them, just like that. Someone's going to be real happy with this one. This is a Siamese twin guy. I like appetizers that go quickly. I especially like the ones you can make ahead of time. Oh my gosh. You're trying to cook your Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner or your dinner where you have a lot of guests coming and you're futzing with little hors d'oeuvres. Makes me crazy. You don't need, all I did for seasoning here was salt and pepper, you guys, and the reason is that there's so much flavor in that sausage that we use that you really don't need really hardly any other seasoning on this. Now, isn't it amazing that it worked out just perfect? Look at that, right down to the last little mushroom, and we've got the last of the filling. This sauce juice that dripped off of those, I'm putting that all back in. That's all got amazing, amazing flavor to it. Now then, for the breadcrumbs, I'm using an Italian style breadcrumb, but really any breadcrumb would be fine. And we just top them just like that. My husband isn't here, he's in the hospital. And he's always here when we're doing this, and he's a huge, huge help when he's here, but he's been a little bit sick, so he will be home for Christmas. That will be wonderful. Now, I'm going to top this with just a little bit of butter on each one. I want the butter to melt in to the mushroom mixture. So just very slight, tiny little bits of butter. This is wonderful flavor. It also moistens up those breadcrumbs. There. Now we're going to put them back into the pan, just like this. And ye of little faith who thought I couldn't get them all in. Look at that, they're in. All righty. I want to make sure everybody's got their little butter. This guy lost his butter, so we'll give him some. All right, it's going back over here on a very low heat. I'm going to add a little bit more wine to this. I'm not putting it on the mushrooms. I'm just putting it around the mushrooms. Now they will start to extrude their own juices very soon. I would say maybe 1/8 of a cup went in, just enough to get it moist. There. All right, we are done for a while. We'll let these cook down and then I'll come back and show you what they look like. Well, these beautiful mushrooms have cooked on very, very slow heat for probably about 45 minutes. The only thing I will tell you to be careful of is watch that they don't dry out. I did come back in and I added a little bit more wine and I added a little bit more butter, okay? And then they just seem to do perfectly fine. All right, so I am just gonna taste these and make sure that they are absolutely excellent, which I'm sure they are, because I make them every year. I could eat half of those myself. Really good. You have the texture of the mushroom, the flavor of the mushroom, the sausage, all of the flavors blended in together. You guys, it's wonderful. So if you or your family like and enjoy mushrooms, this is something really easy to do. And this is the day before Thanksgiving. I've got this all done. I'm gonna leave it in the pan. Then tomorrow, I'm just gonna put it back on the stove and just heat it through and serve it to my guests. So, thank you. I will wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Please know that it's good to go around your table and everyone just say what they were thankful for on this very difficult year that so many families had. With the illnesses, the COVID, there was a lot of loss of life in our country, which is so sad. But hopefully we'll have a better year next year. And so with that being said, thumbs up if you enjoy it. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Ingredients will be below. And have yourself an amazing Thanksgiving day. Bye.